How you guys doing? We're making this video part of my survival series for emergency equipment used for tornadoes, hurricanes, things of that nature. Power outages. So we're going to be covering the Midland E-Ready Emergency Crank Radio. Now this is model ER310 off the top of my head, which is this right here, just to show you. And hopefully we're centered so you guys can see that. Okay, there we go. Just to show you what it looks like. And they also have another model, which is ER210, which is quite a bit smaller. Now you do lose, with the model ER210, you do lose the alkaline battery backup, because each models feature a rechargeable battery. So you do lose some features on the other model. So we're going to be covering that right now. Hey, how you guys doing? We're going to be taking a look at the Midland ER310 E-Ready Emergency Radio. Part of my, it's going to be a fairly long series, getting ready for, emergency use. If you see my main video, I kind of explained all the reasons behind it, but, and so we're going to definitely go over this radio. Very cool. You can pick it up around $60. You can get a smaller one. I believe it's the ER210. Okay, I do warn you getting some older models, which I believe is the ER200 and the ER300, because those use a proprietary battery that has a pigtail, which they don't sell anymore. So definitely get the either the ER210 or the 310. You can use conventional rechargeable batteries with that, just to give you an example. And let me see if I can get this in. There you go. It's really a rebranded battery that use lithium ion 2600 milliamp 3.7 volts. They do recommend you use this battery. I'm going to go into that a little bit later though. So, like I said, there are 3 ways you can power it up, which are solar, this solar panel at the top, which works very well, by the way. You can use the hand crank. There's a dynamo, which recharges the lithium ion battery, which is included, by the way. And also, let me see, cover that one. And solar power, yeah. So you can use either the hand crank or the solar power to recharge the battery. Another nice thing about this as well is it has a built-in flashlight, very handy in emergency situations. It does receive NOAA weather reports, so you should have, they have NOAA weather radio located throughout the United States, which is very important in any kind of weather-related emergency, flooding, hurricanes, things of that nature. And these use a retractable antenna as well. We're not going to pull it all the way out, show you though. And so we're going to cover a lot of the uses. And now you can see once you insert the batteries and you have the select, it does have a selector switch, which I'm going to show you a little bit later. So when you have it set, your appropriate batteries in here, it gives you the time, and it also gives you a battery status up here, right here. Now, when it's recharging, anytime it's recharging, you'll see this red light up, which is located right here. And that's if you use the hand crank or the solar power, you'll see it turn on. You also see the battery symbol flash as you're recharging as well. What I love about this radio, you can also get AM, FM as well. Now, AM and FM is still important besides weather radio, because emergency situation, you can often a lot of the local radio stations will give you updates. It could be weather reports, bridges closed, things of that nature. Even we had some COVID updates as well. And for my go-to station for that is I think it's KED, which is I think it's 90.3. They do a lot of news-related things, updates of that nature. So radio is still important, not just for entertainment. And in fact, we're going to go ahead and just turn it on. I'm not going to use the radio because that's going to have some copyright things on there. So we're just going to go ahead and turn this on. Oop. Oh, is it coming on at all? Now it just features just a mono speaker. It's not stereo. And it only goes up to the volume only goes up to 12, but usually 12 is too loud anyway because it tends to distort the small speaker. The speaker isn't very big, but this, which is not a big deal because all you need is emergency information anyway. In fact, we'll turn it up. Oop, wrong way.
Forecast for the coastal waters from Baffin Bay to the Matagorda Ship Channel out to 60 nautical miles. Hey.
What I love about this is, obviously you can get the emergency weather information. Not only that, instead of just listening to the radio all the time just to get any updated information, because they only update it on regular, on certain intervals. So what you can do is go to the WX alert, and when you depress that, and hopefully you can see right there, that's kind of brightening. You see that WX flash? That means when you have that pushed in, as soon as a new report comes in, so you're going to have this weather radio turned off, it will alert you, so you don't have to listen to the radio all the time. You can use, do other things. And then I believe the light will flash, and you may get a alert tone as well. So this is great feature for this radio. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the alert off. Like I said, it does come with a flashlight, which is a Cree LED, which has 2 settings, low and high. In fact, I'll try to do it to the side because I don't want to. And you can see a little bit of it come on. There's the low setting right there. There's the high setting, and then you get SOS flash, which is useful as well. Not only for emergency situations, you can keep this in your car because then you'll always have a built-in flashlight. And as well as you can use SOS on the road just to alert people. You're on the side of the road. Very useful in many different ways. Now, it's hard to see. I'm not really going to turn it on because I have dogs and neighbors' dogs. But it does utilize a, right here, a kind of like a dog alert system. So if you have emergency rescue dogs trying to find you, you can turn this on, and they're trained to find that like built-in dog whistle. So that's another useful feature as well. Now I'm going to try to show you this, and okay, I covered the emergency power sources. Let me cover that actually a little bit more in depth. Now, using the solar panel right here, you can, in the direct sunlight for an hour, it'll recharge the radio for about 45 minutes. Using the hand crank dynamo, you can, if you turn this for about a minute, will recharge the radio for about 9 minutes. And this really, I just don't see you keep on turning it to completely recharge the battery. It's just to give you a quick recharge, enough to use it, like the flashlight and the radio type of thing. I guess you could recharge it fully, but it'd take you maybe 10 to 15 or 10 to 20, 30 minutes to crank it to get it that far. Also in the back is where your batteries are located. And just to show you, here's the lithium ion battery, which is the standard 18, I think it was at 18650, which is fairly easy to get. It's a 2600 milliamp 3.7 volt battery, which is very common. They use them in things like flashlights, things like that. And they do recommend to use the Midland rechargeable battery, which is rebranded. You can see they just use a plastic coating over it. I would like to see a higher, perhaps use another battery, a little bit higher milliamp for longer battery life. The battery lasts about 32 hours of normal use, and now it does have. You can use conventional batteries like rechargeables, alkaline, which is 6 right here, 6 batteries on top. So they recommend you to use the rechargeable ones, and then you can switch to the backup batteries, which they consider a backup, using the 6 alkaline batteries. And then, yeah, if this runs down and you don't want to hand crank it, you can just, there's a toggle switch. You can switch to the backup batteries there, which I'm probably gonna have to show you that a little bit later. The switch on that back here. And let me see what else I'm gonna try to zoom in on this right here. I know it's a little hard to see. I got this rubber flap, and we're gonna try to zoom in on this. I'll try to get it the best I can. Now, this is a little flap right here, and there should be a switch. I think it's on this side right here. Got 2 switches, one for the lithium ion batteries, and the other one's for your alkaline. And then obviously you're going to switch it to whichever you want to use. Now, if you're going to be recharging devices, you can use the radio to recharge other devices like cell phones, tablets. You have to put it to the lithium ion switch setting. And it does use a conventional USB-A plug, which is, let me see, right there. You see that little white piece right there. And obviously you have to set it to the lithium ion setting for your switch. Now it does use, I believe, a micro USB to recharge the battery, which you'll have to provide. It provides the cord, but you have to use your own plug, which should be easy to get if you have a cell phone. And I think that is located right there. I'm doing this backwards here. And you also have a little headphone jack. I think it's 3.5 millimeter. It's a little hard to see, which is right there. Now that only provides mono. So if you have a stereo headphone, you'll probably only get sound out of one speaker, either right or left. I'm not sure. So it could be useful in certain situations. And let me see if I covered everything. Yeah, I think so. So very useful. Another thing what I love about this radio is I took all the batteries out of the radio. I hooked up my cell phone to it, and just using the hand crank, I could actually recharge my cell phone without it. Normally, anytime you use the recharge feature to recharge other devices, it uses the built-in rechargeable battery, lithium-ion battery right here. But I took that out. I wanted to see if it could just power just using the hand crank instead of the battery itself, which it did. Which is, I was very surprised. So it did work. So, very useful radio. I like it because it's a small size. Now, if you're a backpacker and still want to have a this type of radio for entertainment or even getting weather reports, flashlight use or something like that, I would suggest using the E-Ready. I think it's ER310 because it's much smaller, but you do lose some capability. I think you lose the backup batteries. It does come with, you'll still have the rechargeable battery with that. But I did buy some extra spare batteries, by the way, also. And this will actually work in my tactical flashlight, which also uses a standard 18650 rechargeable battery. In fact, this is it right here. So it's good to have, standardized use of batteries. You can switch between different items. Now, I'm afraid to use this inside of that because it is a very high current. And this radio probably isn't developed for this type of battery, and I'm afraid I'm going to burn it out. So that's why I'm not going to use it. But I can use this you can probably use this in other flashlights. Uses this type of battery. So that's kind of an overview of the Midland E-Ready ER310 Emergency Radio. Very cool. And thanks for watching, and see you guys later. And